let's say crypto is innovation, right? And my question was, okay, something new innovation come. How many steps it takes, like it become halal in accepting Islam?
Yeah, I think that this is a very, very good question. So there are so many aspects of it. So like I will try to address them one by one. So number one is, how much time does it take to accept an innovation in Islam or in Sharias, right? And previously we were the inventors, we were leading the innovation in the whole world. So how come like now we are quite reluctant, lagging behind? And also at the same time now we are taking our time to understand the innovations and taking the systems, products and services and other innovations from other people. So you are right completely. Like if you look at the Muslim history, so we were the inventors. People were learning from us, alhamdulillah. So that was our glorious history. But even why it happened, you have to ask ourselves that there were some Islamic legal maxims promoting innovations. Now, we have to be very careful and also be aware of that innovations in Islam is not something appreciative, but innovation in the world which is Sharia compliant is much more encouraged. So this is the thing. So we are, and even like in muamalat, for example, when we are talking about public dealings, when we are talking about transactions, innovation is encouraged. Innovation is not encouraged in worship, in the act of worship, ibadat, for example. So ibadat are a manqul, we say it. What does it mean? Is basically whatever we have got in the nusus, like textual evidences, whatever we have got from Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and whatever we have got from Sahaba ridwanullahi ta'ala alaihim ajma'in, and whatever we have got from the fuqaha in terms of worship. Of course, this is manqul, and then we will not introduce any innovation over there. But if you look at muamalat, if you look at public dealings, like man-to-man relationship, there are some things which are basically open for innovations, open for new ideas. And that's why fuqaha actually created a legal maxim which says that al-aslu fil ashya'i al-ibaha hatta yadulla dalil ala tahrim, which means that the basic ruling, the fundamental ruling in matters which are related to fiqhul muamalat or public dealings, transactions, is that they are allowed. Unless and until there is a direct nas, there is a direct evidence which says that it is haram. And this is until now is the majority of the position of majority of the fuqaha, that they say, okay, in public dealings, in transactions, you are allowed to do any innovation or any new idea you can implement, as long as it does not fall under the prohibited area. Islam, alhamdulillah, Sharia is very clear that it has defined the prohibited area for us. As long as it is not prohibited, then you can do whatever you want. Now, this is one part of your question. But now the second part is like how long we have to wait. I think that we shouldn't be waiting for it. Why? Because if you look at the history of modern banking, it started 400 years back. Modern banking. Before that, there wasn't any bank, but modern banking started 400 years back, roughly. Then you have Islamic banking, which started only 40 years back. So there is a gap of 360 years where the world was dominated by conventional banking. Okay? And what happened is, like, when Muslims started Islamic banking, until now, I can say it's more than 40 years. Until now, Islamic banking as an industry is struggling to differentiate itself from the conventional banking. It is still struggling in terms of its theoretical grounds, practical grounds, and product side, services side, that it has to be differentiated from there. Is struggling because it's relying so much on the conventional side that it is very, very difficult. And that is why we have so many debates in Islamic banking industry and Islamic finance industry about Sharia based and Sharia compliant. That, okay, what we want to be. Like, either we take our banking system from Quran and Sunnah directly, this is Sharia based. So like directly depending on the rulings and principles of Islam, and create something which might be more rooted in the Quran and Sunnah, or we just go as Sharia compliant, means that we just take the conventional product, conventional system, and try to see that like whether, okay, this thing is a halal, this thing is haram, so we take it out. This thing is haram, we take it out, and then it becomes Sharia compliant. So this is the approach of Sharia compliance. And then there was a debate about being Sharia based. And now you also see there are so many other debates in Islamic finance. For example, Maqasid al-Sharia debate, that whether Islamic finance is fulfilling Maqasid al-Sharia or not. So all these debates were there. Even like now, a very trending phenomena, although like I am deviating from the topic, but I would just want to show you that ESG, for example. So like everybody is talking about sustainability, right? And talking about like how can we be sustainable, and then we can be compliant with the SDGs also from United Nations. So I ask myself sometimes that why do we need these kind of debates? Why? Because of two things. Number one is like our conventional part, like the conventional banking industry was so established, we took a lot of time to basically, of course, like there were some political reasons behind them. Colonization happened, Muslim world was not ready, and then there was a disconnect between fiqh also. You can see that like the development of fiqh, this is quite interesting by the way, again, that the development of fiqh was there until a certain time, but then it stopped. So like so this is again another thing, but again that's a different topic. So what happened is like we waited a lot, and then when by the time we started Islamic banking, it was already very late. Now we are still struggling even after 40 years. I do not want to repeat the same mistake with crypto. Crypto is just 13 years old right now. I really want to push the whole Muslim world that if they are not to really push the whole Muslim world actually to get involved into it and use it for betterment. Use it with good intention. Innamal a'malu bin niyat. So if you have good intention, use it, because it's a tool. Yeah. It's a platform. It's a technology. You can use it for your own purposes. If you don't like, don't like Bitcoin, for example, if you don't like any other thing, why don't you create your own? Who is stopping you from there? But don't waste your time. This is because we have already seen what happened in Islamic banking. So I do not want to repeat the same mistake in crypto. So that's why I am quite optimistic about it, and I really want to be playing an active role, and I want the whole ummah to play an active role in this industry, in new market.
It's in Islamic perspective, it's asset or currency?
Okay. So just to very briefly answer your question, first part of the question is, and then I will come to this part, that I wanted to basically also say that like when I am quite optimistic about crypto, it doesn't mean that everybody should get involved into it, because again, it's a highly risky sector, or I would say like part of the financial market. But of course, we will talk about it later. But right now, I just want to say that like we, as a Muslim also, we also have responsibility, and we have to be cautious also. So I am not saying that when you are going for any crypto project or any invention, for example, in generally, doesn't mean that like you just get involved into it and say that, okay, now I am, without calculating the risk, without calculating that how much is the haram portion or halal portion. So we have to do that. We have to do our own analysis. For individuals, for institutions, this is the same. Like, what is their risk appetite? Have they done their enough research? And what they are going to do? Are they clear about their vision, mission, and objective? So this is very, very, I want to basically say first that this is very, very important. Now, coming back to the beginning, that whether crypto is an asset or a currency. So I would say that a lot of confusion in the Muslim world and among the Sharia scholars I have seen is because of this misnomer or misuse of the terminology. What is the terminology? Initially, when crypto started back in 2009, when Bitcoin was introduced, it was introduced as a P2P payment system, also known as cryptocurrency. But it doesn't mean that every crypto asset is a currency. So we have to look. Now there are more than 10,000, 20,000, I do not know. But different databases, for example, CoinMarketCap gives us a different number. Other databases, they give us different number, but they are in thousands. So like at least more than 10,000, right? Bitcoin is one of them. And so we have to basically categorize them accordingly. Now it has become an asset class, which means that it is no more a currency only, no more a payment system. And I will give you some examples also later on. So what is it now? It has become and evolved into a complete asset class. Under that asset class, there are different categories. One is currency. The other one is, I would say, non-currency. And then under non-currency, you have different classes also. For example, some of them are utility tokens. So you can classify them separately. Some of them are security tokens, and they are backed by tangible assets. So you classify them separately. And then you have NFTs, for example. So NFTs are classified separately. So that's how basically you do the classification. So initially you can say that there are currencies and then there are non-currencies. Non-currencies can be divided into different parts, like there are hybrids also. Now there are some coins and tokens which are not only utility tokens, for example, but they are also used as a payment. So then they are hybrids because they combine the features of a currency and also the feature of a utility or a good. So that's how basically we divide them first. If you divide them accordingly, then it will be very, very easy to apply the Sharia ruling of each and every category. For example, first of all, of course, like you have to divide them at a higher stage, that which one is halal and which one is not halal. So I am only talking about halal's ones, that how do I do it? For example, if a cryptocurrency or a crypto asset does not entail any prohibited element, then it will be halal, right? And then under that halal, you can divide them into currencies, non-currencies, under non-currency, you can have utility tokens, you can have security tokens, you can have NFTs and other types of tokens. Now, how do you define currencies then? Because this is basically important to understand that whether it is a currency or asset. And if it is an asset, then why it is a non-currency, I will tell you. Currencies are normally two types. One is reserved backed currencies and non-reserved backed currencies. I give you an example of USDC and USDT. It's a reserved backed cryptocurrency. Because why? Because it has a reserve. Behind it, there is a dollar. There is a USDC. Behind USDC, there is a dollar, right? And because of that, they issue USDC as a token, and it has pegged value with the US dollar. So it's a reserve-backed cryptocurrency. Another example is Bitcoin. It's a non-reserve-backed cryptocurrency. Because why it is a non-reserve-backed? Because there is no reserve behind it. But it is still a currency because people trust it and use it as a payment mode.
So Bitcoin, we check, is a currency.
It's a currency, yes. Now, and whatever token we use for payments, whether it is on-chain payments, for smart contracts payments, for gas fees, for example, this feature will make the token a currency, okay, or a money, we can also call it money. So this is basically separate category. Then you have non-currency tokens or coins. For example, if it is backed by a a commodity, palladium, precious metal. Now, I am intentionally avoiding here gold and silver because in Sharia, gold and silver is recognized as currency. So, gold-backed tokens, silver-backed tokens, which the tokens which are backed by the physical gold behind them or physical silver behind them, they are considered as currencies. So put them in that category. Coming back again to the non-currency, so if a token is backed by palladium or precious metal, real estate, for example, then you can categorize them accordingly as a non-currency because we can see that people, even let's suppose that we tokenize this building today. So these tokens will be non-currency tokens because they are considered according to the law and regulations as securities. Securities cannot be used as currencies by law. So because of that, that's how I basically say that like it is non-currency because by law you cannot use it for payment system. Although like if there is no law, you might be able to do that, but no, nobody is doing it. So securities cannot be used for that. NFTs are also like that. Nobody is using it as a payment. Of course, if you do that, it will become like a barter system. You pay NFTs and somebody is giving you another commodity token, commodity-based token. So it will be, I will say it's a barter, but it doesn't make NFT as a currency. So that's how basically we categorize them. And when you understand this, it will be much more easier for you to come up with a Sharia ruling for that.